Have you ever wondered what life is like in the most forgotten corners of America? The places the travel brochures won't show you? Where poverty grips tightly, opportunity is scarce, and hope can feel like a distant memory? Today, we're diving deep into the shadows of the American dream to uncover the 10 worst small towns in the United States to live in. This isn't just about statistics, it's about real people, real struggles, and the harsh truths that often go untold. So, if you're fascinated by the raw, unfiltered stories that don't make the headlines, buckle up, because what you're about to see is eye-opening, unsettling, and absolutely essential. So before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're pulling back the curtain, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in. Stilwell, a small town nestled in Adair County, Oklahoma, has earned a troubling reputation as one of the worst places to live in the U.S. With a population under 4,000, the town is plagued by deep poverty. Nearly half of all children live below the poverty line, and the median household income is just over $31,000. The town suffers from staggering health issues. Obesity, diabetes, and smoking rates are significantly above national averages. Most alarmingly, Stilwell holds the lowest life expectancy in the U.S., at just 56.3 years. Environmental studies have also revealed dangerously high levels of mercury in rainfall. Economically, job opportunities are scarce, with little industry or business investment. The crime rate is concerning, particularly for a town of its size, and local education options are limited. Despite its scenic location and Native American heritage, Stilwell's persistent issues make daily life incredibly challenging for many residents. Camden, located across the Delaware River from Philadelphia, is infamous for its crime, poverty, and long-standing systemic neglect. Despite revitalization efforts, Camden remains one of the most dangerous cities in America. In 2023, the city's violent crime rate was over 1,500 incidents per 100,000 residents, 4 times the national average. About 36% of residents live below the poverty line, and unemployment rates have often hovered near double digits. The education system struggles with underfunding, and public schools consistently underperform in state rankings. Additionally, Camden faces severe environmental pollution from nearby industrial facilities, contributing to chronic health issues among locals. Even with efforts like a controversial police overhaul in 2013, many residents still feel unsafe, citing persistent gun violence and gang activity. Though some parts of Camden are slowly improving, much of the city remains trapped in a cycle of poverty and violence that makes day-to-day life extremely difficult. Once a booming steel town, Gary, Indiana, has endured one of the most dramatic economic collapses in American history. After the decline of the steel industry in the 1970s, Gary's population fell from nearly 180,000 to under 70,000 today. That exodus left behind a gutted economy, decaying infrastructure, and widespread urban blight. Around 32% of residents live below the poverty line, and unemployment remains significantly above the national average. Gary is riddled with abandoned homes and buildings. Some blocks resemble ghost towns. Violent crime is also a major concern, with murder and assault rates far exceeding national norms. The local school system is struggling, and access to quality healthcare and fresh food is limited. Despite its historic legacy and recent small-scale revitalization efforts, Gary continues to face overwhelming obstacles, making it a challenging and at times dangerous place to live, especially for those with limited resources or support systems. Flint became a symbol of government failure after its 2014 water crisis, when a switch in the city's water source exposed thousands of residents to lead-contaminated water. Even today, many residents still don't fully trust their taps. But Flint's problems didn't start or stop with water. The city has a poverty rate above 40% and a median household income under $30,000. Violent crime remains high, with rates exceeding 1,900 incidents per 100,000 residents in some recent years. The collapse of the auto industry hit Flint hard, leaving behind abandoned homes, struggling schools, and an underfunded public health system. Unemployment remains persistently high, And while some neighborhoods are seeing investments, much of the city is still in decline. Mental and physical health concerns, along with a deteriorated trust in leadership, continue to haunt residents. Despite its resilience, Flint remains one of the most difficult and disheartening places to live in America. East St. Louis, once a bustling industrial city on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River, is now one of the most economically depressed places in the country. With a poverty rate over 40% and an unemployment rate nearing 12%, opportunities for residents are severely limited. The city's infrastructure is crumbling, and basic public services are often unreliable. Violent crime is a pervasive issue. East St. Louis has repeatedly ranked among the most dangerous cities in America, with a murder rate more than 17 times the national average. The education system is underfunded and often overwhelmed, and residents suffer from poor access to health care and fresh food. Many buildings are abandoned or condemned, giving parts of the city an apocalyptic feel. Despite strong community activism and pockets of hope, the city continues to face daunting challenges that make daily life extremely difficult for many of its residents. We're halfway through the list, and it only gets more shocking from here. But now I want to hear from you. Have you lived in or near one of these towns? Do you think we missed a place that deserves a spot on this list? Or maybe you know of a hidden gem that's been unfairly judged? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. Also, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the hard realities of small-town America, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more content coming that pulls back the curtain on the real America, unfiltered, unscripted, and unforgettable. And hey, let us know what kind of list you'd like to see next. Worst cities? Most haunted towns? Strangest laws by state? Your feedback shapes what we do next. Dumas, Arkansas, a small town in the Mississippi Delta, is plagued by poverty, limited job prospects, and a shrinking population. With a population of around 4,000, Dumas has a poverty rate hovering near 30% and one of the lowest per capita incomes in the state. Agriculture is still a significant employer, but low wages and seasonal work leave many families financially insecure. The education system is under-resourced, and standardized test scores are consistently below state averages. Health outcomes are also concerning, with high rates of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease among residents. The town lacks major infrastructure investment, and many roads and public facilities are in disrepair. There are few entertainment or cultural amenities, which makes quality of life even lower, especially for young people. For those without the means to leave, Dumas can feel like a place where opportunities are few and the future seems uncertain. Kingstree, a small town of about 3,000 residents in Williamsburg County, South Carolina, suffers from many of the typical problems that afflict economically depressed rural areas. The poverty rate is over 35%, and unemployment remains stubbornly high. Most residents work in low-wage service or agricultural jobs, and economic mobility is virtually non-existent. The public school system faces challenges with funding and achievement gaps, and health services are extremely limited. Kingstree's crime rate, especially property crime, is significantly above the national average, and drug abuse has become a growing concern in recent years. Many buildings are in disrepair, and infrastructure improvements have been slow or non-existent. For young people, opportunities are scarce, prompting many to move away as soon as they can. Without major economic investment or revitalization, Kingstree continues to be a place where poverty, stagnation, and limited access to essential services make life a daily struggle. Selma is rich in civil rights history, but today it faces harsh economic realities. With a population under 20,000, Selma has a poverty rate exceeding 38% and a median household income of around $27,000. Unemployment is high, and many of the jobs that do exist are low-paying and lack benefits. The city's infrastructure is aging, and public schools are often underfunded. Selma's crime rate, particularly violent crime, is significantly higher than the national average, making safety a concern for many residents. Access to health care is limited, and residents report long wait times and travel distances for basic medical services. Despite recent efforts to promote tourism based on its historical significance, these projects haven't translated into widespread economic improvement. Many buildings in the downtown area sit vacant, and the general atmosphere is one of slow decay. For residents without resources, escaping Selma's entrenched poverty can feel nearly impossible. Gallup is a town of about 20,000 people, surrounded by Native American reservations and known for its stark beauty, but also for some troubling statistics. The town has one of the highest rates of alcohol-related deaths in the country, and public intoxication is a daily visible problem. Gallup's poverty rate sits at over 30%, and its economy relies heavily on tourism and low-wage retail jobs. Access to healthcare and mental health services is limited, especially for the surrounding Native communities, who make up a significant portion of the population. Violent crime rates are also high, with frequent assaults and domestic violence incidents reported. The education system is under strain, and school dropout rates are above state averages. Despite cultural richness and natural beauty, Gallup faces a persistent struggle with substance abuse, underemployment, and poor infrastructure, making it a difficult place for many to call home. Pine Bluff, located about 40 miles south of Little Rock, is another Arkansas town facing severe economic and social challenges. Once a thriving manufacturing hub, Pine Bluff has seen its population decline drastically, dropping by over 20% since 2010. The town's poverty rate is over 35%, and the median household income is well below the national average. Crime is a major issue. Violent crime rates are 3 times higher than the national average, and Pine Bluff has frequently been ranked among the most dangerous cities per capita in America. Many neighborhoods are dotted with boarded-up homes and vacant lots. Public schools are struggling, and young residents often leave town in search of better opportunities. Health outcomes are poor, with high rates of chronic disease and limited access to care. Despite its history and community efforts, Pine Bluff continues to wrestle with the kind of entrenched problems that make life deeply challenging. These towns aren't just dots on a map. They're places where people wake up every day and fight battles most of us never see. They remind us that behind every rundown building or troubling statistic, there's a story, often one of resilience, hardship, and sometimes silent endurance. Whether it's high crime, economic collapse, or environmental disaster, these towns reflect some of the darkest challenges in modern America. If this video opened your eyes or made you think twice about the lesser-known side of the country, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to see it. We're just scratching the surface here, and there's so much more to uncover. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and never stop asking what's really going on behind the postcard version of America.